Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. The water vapor satellite picture this morning really shows us exactly how the pattern's developing over the next 48 hours. We have an area low pressure and an intense upper level low setting up over the upper Midwest. This upper level low will move towards the eastern Great Lakes. Why is that important? Well, as you can see, the strongest upper level winds, which are in blue, are all focused towards the eastern Great Lakes and over western Pennsylvania. As this upper level low lifts northeast, those upper level winds and the lifting that's associated with them will shift slightly further to the east, but will not move towards the northern mid-Atlantic. That's important because that means the best dynamics and lifting for strong to severe thunderstorms will be focused further to the west over central Pennsylvania this afternoon and over central and northeastern New York this evening and overnight. Now that doesn't mean that a few isolated severe thunderstorms cannot develop over portions of northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, and extreme northwestern New Jersey, but for the most part, those thunderstorms will remain further to the west. As far as the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan areas, I'm expecting generally dry conditions throughout this afternoon into the overnight hours, with again another return for locally dense fog. Temperatures today will rise into the mid to upper 80s, possibly even touching 90 in portions of the Delaware River Valley, while the New York City metropolitan area will remain closer to 80 degrees under the influence of some marine air mass. So for the most part, we're looking at a rather tranquil day on the way, with the majority of the action of strong to severe thunderstorms further to the west. As we look at the forecast heading into this weekend, especially for tomorrow afternoon, many people are starting to head down to the beach. There will be a slightly better chance for thunderstorms just because the upper level dynamics are going to be slightly closer. But again, the best chance for severe weather is going to be further to the west and away from the coast. What we are looking at now is the 500 millibar forecast from the European Model Guidance, courtesy of the Penn State EWOL website. And as you can see, for this weekend, a deep trough is going to be centered over much of the west, especially focused over the Rockies and then bleeding into the northern plains. That's going to lead to a rather strong ridge developing over much of the southeast and moving along the western Atlantic. Now, what this generally is going to produce is a storm track that develops over the southern plains and moves towards the eastern Great Lakes. The problem, though, for this weekend are these little weak disturbances like the one that's developing over central Pennsylvania on Sunday afternoon. These disturbances can produce a few isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. Meanwhile, the mid and low level winds around this high pressure system over the Atlantic will continue to pump in very warm and very humid air into the northern mid-Atlantic. So overall, what we can expect for the holiday weekend is a chance for a few isolated strong to severe thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise, expect scattered clouds with at times a redevelopment of fog along the immediate coast. It could be locally dense in some locations, much like what we saw this morning. Temperatures will range from the lower to mid 60s, a few upper 60s in the Delaware River Valley for lows. And you're going to love this for the holiday weekend. Mid 80s to lower 90s. It's going to feel like it's July, only it's early June, or at least we're heading into early June. So overall, the start of summer is going to feel very much like summer, with very warm and humid conditions expected throughout the weekend. If you're going to the coast, except for the period of fog in the morning, overall conditions will be rather pleasant as thunderstorms will probably not be able to make it to the coastal waters. And even more importantly, with the coastal waters so close by because you're at the beach, temperatures are more likely to be around 80 than 90 because of the influence of the Atlantic. So overall, a great weekend to head down to the shore, so go out there and enjoy it. Moving on to next week, high pressure is going to be in control for much of next week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is going to be very warm, very dry, with only an isolated chance of a thunderstorm. Most of those thunderstorms will be below the severe levels, but still can produce a very fast, heavy downpour, and then exit within a 30-minute time frame. The only feature that we're going to have to keep an eye on for later on next week is an area of low pressure that's going to move through Ontario and then dive southeast towards the New England coastal waters. That low pressure system may drive a backdoor cold front through the northern mid-Atlantic Wednesday night into Thursday and knock temperatures down. We're talking about temperatures returning to the upper 70s and lower 80s, which really is much closer to normal. Otherwise, the rest of the week can expect scattered clouds for the most part, areas of fog in the morning, and unfortunately temperatures well above normal with high humidity. We're looking at lows in the 60s, highs in the mid 80s along the immediate coast, that's even with the influence of the Atlantic, to lower 90s over the Delaware River Valley. Get your summer gear ready, you're going to need it. Thank you for visiting NYNJPA Weather as your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.